Welcome. I'm Tatiana. The party's already started, so come on in. But we only have one rule here. Please leave by 9.
I just had a flashback to like watching Sandlot at home.
To the rest of it at the end. Stay tuned till the end, because then you get to hear the rest of the song, bitches.
No, the party's more poppin', Anna. What are you talking about? More people are here because we were playing Bruce Springsteen.
We weren't even playing like the party Bruce Springsteen though. It's like my hometown. Welcome everyone to this party. I don't know.
Say welcome, neighbor.
Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah, Sarah and I are neighbors.
Tyler, Daniel,
Anyways,
thank you
yeah,
for
Tyler,
coming. What the fuck, Cheryl? Cheryl, introduce our guest. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Never introduce people at our parties. They just show up.
It's like Cheryl, introduce these people. And she turns into Mr. Rogers. Hello there, neighbor. We have our neighbors here. Let me take off my sweater.
No.
And his shoes, don't forget.
Yeah.
And the shoes. And we do it so nonchalant. We're not in a hurry. That's what Cheryl was just embodying, Mr. Rogers.
Let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say.
I was going to get to Tyler and Daniel, okay? I just needed to welcome everyone to this party because I've never welcomed people to a party.
And now I don't want you to anymore.
Okay, that was my whole goal.
Yeah.
So that I don't do it.
No,
All right. So, I know where the people who live here are from, but I don't actually know where Tyler or Daniel are from.
My first 5 years of life was in Santa Ana. And then everything on from that was in Garden Grove, which is California, which is very close to Santa Ana.
Yes, we're both from Orange County.
Yes.
Different parts of Orange County.
By Disneyland. We're by Disneyland. There you go.
Yeah.
I had
I was born at Chalk Hospital in Orange.
Oh.
Yeah. And
And you guys have been together ever since, right?
yeah.
Out of the womb.
Yeah. 2 years apart. I just stayed there the entire 2 years. That's where I lived. And I waited for Tyler to be born.
I had a big problem when I moved down here, and because NorCal people don't know. Like, you guys would not know what Foothill Farms is, but that's where I'm from. But you guys know Sacramento. But when I moved down here, I'd be like, oh, where are you from? And they're like, Cypress. And I'm like, where is that? And they're like 20 minutes away. And I'm like, why would the fuck would I know where like a mall is? And when I moved here yesterday.
Cypress is also a city that you pass through to get to another place. You don't go to Cypress to have fun. No offense to everybody who lives in Cypress.
No, it's so funny because these towns I also feel like there's and like if we draw a circle, there's probably like 15 towns in there, but if you draw a circle up north, there's maybe 2. You maybe got 2 towns in there.
I have a joke that I tell on stage sometimes where I say like, oh, like I'm from Orange County, like you guys know Orange County. To get a Taco Bell, I have to drive through 5 fucking cities. Yeah. Like I have to go to Stanton, Westminster, Huntington Beach, then I end up in Newport, then I have to drive in to get to Laguna to get to the Taco. I don't go to Taco Bell. I don't go to Laguna to go to Taco Bell, but you know.
We're not from southern Orange County. Yeah. We're from northern Orange County. Yeah. There's a big difference.
Well, also, that's like a big difference, too. Like, we don't say we're from Sacramento County. Like, Sacramento County is massive.
Yeah.
It's so big. And, well, not Anna. Like, Anna's got her whole...
No, I was just going to real quick mention that I've noticed that all the towns here also are in the same town. So you're in one town, but you're also in another town. You can have your 2 feet in different towns, like walking in different areas, and I'm not used to it.
There's no, like... encompassing
No.
thing. Like there's Downey and there's Lakewood and there's Long
Have
Beach
you
and there's
realized
this,
they're all
but,
kind
like,
of named the
they're
same
not-
too?
Yeah.
Or like they're all kind of in the realm of the same
Names
name.
out here. That area looks good. All right, we'll call it that.
Also, what the fuck is up with Signal Hill? Just like right dead in the middle of like Long Beach.
I have to look this up because my business law professor actually told us the story of Signal Hill, but it's like one of the only cities in the USA that is like a city within a bigger city because it's in the middle of Long Beach and it has a name. I think it's called an enclave or something, but it's like literally they only govern in this circle and then they're surrounded by an actual city.
Isn't that like Rossmore too? Or
No,
like,
Rossmore's not. If you ask people in Rossmore, they want to be a city, and apparently
Oh,
they have
they're not.
petitioned
Okay.
religiously against Seal Beach stuff
But
to
they're not
be.
their own.
No, they
Ah.
wanted their own zip
Aren't they, like,
code.
one
They wanted
street or
their own.
something?
It's a neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
It's like
Okay.
where I grew up. The fancy like gated community asked to be their own town.
we
Like,
want to
that's
be our
ridiculous.
own. We would like to be top of the hill.
Yeah,
please.
exactly. That's what they're saying.
In
You
southern
still go to the same grocery store as me.
in southern Orange County, isn't Coto de Caza a city?
There's a in southern Orange County. There's a little gated community. It's actually like a gated fucking town called Coto de Caza, and that's where all the Richies live.
Housewives, right?
Yeah. We won't tell you who lives there, but we will tell you that a bunch of Richies live there.
You can find on the internet that they live there. But yeah, like Coto de Caza is all white people and they're all super rich. And yeah, it's like an actual town. Like you can drive for 15 minutes and still not get to where you're going in Coto de Caza. Ow, I whacked myself in the face.
But in the with the enclave thing, there's a bunch. Yeah, in Huntington Beach, there's this little block called Midway City. Like we have yeah.
That Midway City confuses me.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't know.
It's
Midway
like
City.
4 houses and it's a city. Like
on
my
the map.
yeah.
So that's why I'm like, Midway City.
It's so strange.
Someone asked me, where are you? Oh, my location's Midway City. I don't know where that is, but search it on the map.
It's by Bellaterra for all of you guys that know. I have a comedian friend that lives there, and it's just weird. It's like you just live. It's just a block, dude.
You
This
live in
isn't a city.
Huntington?
Yeah, basically. So like, yeah, I for the most of my life, I lived right on the border of Anaheim and Garden Grove, like literally on the border of Anaheim and Garden Grove. Yeah, seriously.
So, okay, fun story. So Signal Hill is an enclave city. That's what it was called, enclave. I was right. Thank God. Thank you. Education. Get one. Okay, so then the other part is that, and this is what I was trying to figure out because I remember my professor telling me that the reason they did, like, they made it its own city was because of oil, but I couldn't remember why. And it says because of oil taxes. If they made themselves their own city, they didn't have to deal with Long Beach. Like, so they made themselves, like, or Long Beach regulations, so they made themselves their own city, meaning oil tax would be different because they found oil in Signal Hill. Like that's the big part. Is
So
that
they're
it's in
they're
Signal.
greedy as fuck and hate the
Yeah,
environment.
and they're pretty smart. Honestly, I think
Okay.
that's pretty smart.
Okay.
It was.
Okay.
It used to be called Los Cerritos Hills too, before it was Signal Hill. They whitened it up a little bit.
We're gonna make
and
this
then
more
they
official.
also call it Porcupine Hill. Porcupine
like
Hill.
that.
I like Porcupine Hill.
Are there porcupines up there?
I don't think so.
I was
It
hoping
says,
there was more.
the hill was
background.
covered with over 100 oil derricks, and because of its prickly appearance at a distance, it became known as Porcupine Hill.
Okay. Okay, I can respect that.
But yeah, that was back in the 20s. So there it is. And the first female mayor was of Signal Hill in
Oh.
California. California's first female mayor was from
There it
Signal Hill.
is.
So there's some information for you. Carry on.
Well, there's a.
Well, none of us are from Signal Hill.
Yeah,
So
none of us are from.
You can't. I feel like you can't really be from Signal Hill. There's only 11,000 people who actually live there, and
It's
there's
rare.
no hospital in Signal Hill. So like,
That's actually like a lot of people for just the circle that it is.
that's true. That's true because you see
We
it from
probably
right
think
there.
Half of them are Long Beach
Yeah.
people, but we don't actually know.
We don't
But they're
actually
like
know.
in Signal.
they
Hill.
just by accident live in Signal Hill. It's not like
Yeah.
they chose to live in Signal Hill. They're
thought I
just
lived
like, I
in
want to
Long
live in
Beach.
Long Beach. And then they're
They
like,
just got drawn in the
one's
circle.
nice. I want to live in Long Beach, but also on an incline.
yeah, I want to live on a hill and next to a Costco.
Yeah,
So-
it sounds ideal.
Like, what the heck is Signal Hill? I want to live in Long Beach. And they're like, oh, you are in Long Beach.
Have you guys ever gone up to Signal Hill at night and seen all of the
Yeah.
high schoolers there? No, really?
What?
No, have you guys seen that? Where
No.
the couples and shit? Okay, I'm sorry.
What? No.
You guys haven't seen that? That's like a huge like date place for like teenagers.
You know me. Out there with I'm there with my Baja Freeze by myself, like, sitting there like, hey, fellow kids.
Next time you go, invite me because
I will.
I've
You
never
wanna
been
go?
to Signal Hill
Oh, wait,
before.
you haven't?
No.
I go there. It's also a great
Take
spot.
her on a date, Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel, what the
I
fuck?
never took her there because it was so basic. Everyone would go to Signal Hill.
Are you saying I'm basic?
No, because you've probably
Now she's
been there.
Missed out on this basic rite of
Did-
passage.
Did you go on a date or were you just there on like your own?
One
Or
time,
just to hang out one time?
Cheryl's boyfriend Colin texted me and said, "Hey, is Tatiana on a date? I tracked her and she's at Signal Hill." And I was like,
She was just having
but
a good time by herself
Bell.
eating Taco Bell.
The moon was really big. I was there to watch it. But I do want to point out a quick shout out to Colin, who constantly is tracking me to make sure I'm alive. He's literally my brother.
Were you there just to eat Taco Bell?
He was with a date.
No, but I was eating Taco Bell. No,
But it
Daniel's
was
right.
so-
I was eating Taco Bell.
I want to go on a date with
you wanna
you
do with
and
me?
whoever there, and we could eat Taco Bell on a blanket, and it must be on a blanket,
It
not a
must be?
sheet, not a towel.
Okay,
a
I can
blanket.
also show you where the planes take off from Long
Oh
Beach
shit!
Airport.
I'm ready.
I have a plaid blanket in my trunk.
Oh yeah.
Sarah can come on this date too.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. It's just like people in high school. That's where they always go, and I'm all like, I don't want to go where people always go.
It was.
I thought it was college kids going on dates there because that's all I've known. But now I realize
Now
there's a
they're
lot of
probably high
young
schoolers.
people there.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
High school on the way up to.
Hey, no,
Signal
it
Hill.
makes sense.
Never
But
noticed
doesn't
them.
it-
Close at
It
like,
does, at, like
early.
10. They're like 10.
And you find
Oh.
it out when you get there at 9:45.
Because it took you that long to get there,
Yeah.
and then by the time you were there,
And then you
have
see
to
people
go.
patrolling, trying to
Yeah.
get rid of you, and
So,
you're like, I'm just
yep,
trying to
Signal
look.
Hill never change. There you go.
Tatiana's hometown has a Signal Hill. It's called Heaven. Have you
Yes,
guys
oh
ever?
my
Yeah.
Wait, yes. Talk about heaven. I've actually never been. What? My best friend from high school says it's
Why
her
are you
favorite
giving-
place in the world. Yeah, not really. But she really likes it. Can you talk about it?
You both like put your microphones up. I felt like I was at a press conference. Like, all right, let me. Okay, well, it's funny how Sarah brought up heaven because being from there, you think it's just something that you literally all 36,000 of you know. That's all, because there's 36,000 people in my hometown. But we consider it little still. It's like little politics, but like we have a lot more people now. But it's still a very small town vibe. But yeah, we have heaven. It's at the top of a hill because we're in a town called El Dorado Hills. So it's a lot of hills, and you overlook the peasants in Folsom because they're flat and we're on hills. So it's like really pretty because you see the lights, and then in the distance there's a lake. It's Folsom Lake. Shocker, spoiler. But there's Folsom Lake over there, and so but kids would just go there and get high and make out with each
Yeah.
other.
So speaking of dates in high school, one time my friend, she was like kind of talking to this dude, and then we went to the lake, and then they were like, "Oh, like let's go to heaven at night."
Wow.
And I was
how
like,
did you guys? How did they know about that? Though?
"It's well known."
Everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry. I
It's
just
not-
never get out
yeah.
much.
But and so we're like, okay, so I like go home and I like put pants on, but not a face because we were just at the lake all day. And then these two boys show, and it's like there's three of us girls, and then these two boys shows up, like, and they're button up and watches.
Stop
and they're like-
it.
And I'm like, is
They had
this a
watches?
date? What? And then so like her and the guy are like canoodling. And
No.
then it's like me, this girl, and this other guy, and the guy's like trying to make out with me, and I'm like, Miranda is right here. And then me and Miranda just start singing Disney songs, and then I'm like, goodbye.
I thought you and Miranda were gonna make out. This story was.
That's what Disney songs are.
That's true. Okay, I accept. Continue.
It's just really weird.
I just love that to not make out with someone. I'm imagining you guys just singing Disney songs at the top of your lungs.
Is together, and then just you know.
We're all stars and we see
it. Yeah, that would make me not. That's
Did you guys? Was that a place for people necked? So it was
necked.
Like they would
Yes,
have, like,
there was a lot of necking.
They would have their 7 minutes in heaven, right there up there. In the
That's
hill?
a good. Well, the police, okay, and then shortly after all the kids started doing, the police caught on, and then so did the people who lived in the neighborhood, because it was literally off of a neighborhood stretch. And my good friend growing up, Carly, who we talked about, she lived on that street, like down the street, up the hill. She used to live at, like, down there. So, like, it's really popular area. So all the people there were like, hey, stop
Stop
coming here.
canoodling.
Stop canoodling in this weird forest thing.
Yeah,
like,
it's
this is
gone now.
weird. Yeah, it's gone. Like, there's
Like,
no
it's
trespassing
off.
signs.
Yeah.
There's fences. like,
I never got to go.
no, I mean, you could still go. I mean, funny story, I've actually taken Kylie to heaven. Our good friend Kylie and my sister, like, because it's cute. Like when the sun is setting, we were showing her because she comes to visit because she's from Central California, like Anna is, and so we
We'll get there.
small woo, yeah, we'll get there. So I brought her there to show her. So you can still go. I can't make out with you there. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Do they like if police come around? They're like, show me your ID.
Yeah, they're like, are you above 21? And then you're
I know, and like,
22, and they're like, oh, that's sad.
yeah. And they're like, here at heaven. Do you live within 5 miles of this place? Like, yeah, because like sometimes, I mean, it's probably public property, so they can't do it. But Kodo de Casa would do that.
Damn
Kick your
bitches.
ass out. Well, no, they're like they've kicked people out of other places in El Dorado Hills. Like they're really good at that. They're just like, nope, don't come here, don't come here. But the thing is also about my hometown is that like it's super like, rich white people and like all this kind of things, and it's on the way to Lake Tahoe, so it's like, you know, you'll miss it if you drive too fast. But we have a big sign on their hill, and like it's really pretty place. And then there was like a really famous murder that happened in our town where the girl, this I can say because this is all like known, Tyler Witt and her boyfriend, yeah, her name is Tyler, another Tyler. Yeah, her name is Tyler. Tyler Marie Witt and her boyfriend Stephen Clover murder Tyler's mother in El Dorado Hills. And she was only, how old was she? She was really young. She was like 16 or something, and her boyfriend was 20 something. Oh no, she was 14. Sorry, she was 14. Her boyfriend was 19, and they killed her mom, who lived in our town. Why? Because she was dating a 19-year-old, and the mom didn't like that.
I think she was mad at her mom for naming her Tyler. Because I was often mad at my mom for naming me Tyler because
Great name.
I'm like, it feels like if I were a dude, it'd be the most horrible name. But because I'm a girl, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But I remember like I had to deal with a lot of crap growing up as Tyler. So
Yeah, one of my cousins, she's a girl and her name is Tyler, and I had to coach my mom into not calling her Taylor. I was like, it's
Yeah.
not that fucking hard, Mom.
yeah.
It's Tyler.
Yeah. And like in elementary school, like there were like dudes who were like, you're a boy, and would try and touch places where not boy things were, and just shit like that. What? Like in just like my case, because I was fucking weird too. But but yeah.
Just like harassment.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think she was mad at her mom about naming her Tyler.
Yeah, so she's actually now like 23 years old, I think it says. Yeah, in jail. Yeah, like she's like, so that means we were all like 14 when this happened. And you know what's crazy is I don't remember because I was obviously young. If I was 14, I was in high school. But I don't remember really this happening. I only remember after the fact.
My mom told me about this.
Yeah, no, everyone's mom told us.
Yes, my mom told me, and I remember that
Tatiana
was like
told me.
that was like the last straw for me with my mom, because I was like, stop fucking telling me these things. Like, you know, I don't like murder. Yeah. Like, please stop telling me. I was like, I'm not gonna murder you, so don't like give me these warning things. Yeah. Stop talking to me about this. I was like, I'm 13. Please stop reading me the news. Yeah. Like, I don't like it.
Yeah, my mom only told me because she was watching, I think, like a City Confidential, and they did one on El Dorado Hills, and she's like, oh, did you know that they did that, by the way? Like, it was a sleepy town amongst the Sacramento suburbs. When all of a sudden...
You should do a narration for documentaries.
That was actually the real
narration.
I played you the real narration.
It was
that
a
was
sleepy town.
Like, full of
El Dorado Hills.
Aerospace engineers and tech moguls. Like literally, that's all. That they only found out that it happened because they found Tyler Witt and her boyfriend trying to commit suicide in San Francisco hotel room by eating bowls of Fruit Loops mixed with red velvet cake and rat poison.
Like, what's the point?
Right?
What's the point of killing the mom if you're just gonna
kill
yourself?
I know. Just kill yourself.
Leave the mom out of it.
Yeah. Just kill yourself. I'm sorry, I didn't want to say that, but just fucking kill yourself.
Not romantic.
Yeah.
So, scary things in towns. I was thinking of Sarah and I, where we grew up in North Highlands.
Don't say Dire Lane.
Yeah, Dyer Lane is a really
Okay.
weird thing.
Cheryl can tell you her perspective, and then I'll tell you mine. Or unless
Do we
you want me to
have-
go first.
Do we have different perspectives?
Well, are you scared of it?
no.
No. Okay, I don't think that it's just it's literally a
It's
road
really dumb.
that's kind of
It's
in,
a mile
like,
long straight road.
but it has like a curve at the end.
Yeah.
And it's just in like the middle of like
Cow farms.
not cows. I don't think there's
There
cows.
are cows.
But the thing
That's
is
part of the scary
like,
part
they're
is
supposed
the
to
cows
be,
are
like,
mooing.
It's supposed to be haunted, but like there's too many stories
There's
that like
so
none of
many
them
stories.
none of them have backing because there's too many. There's supposed to be like KKK and there's supposed to be witches and there's supposed to be car crashes. There's so many.
I'm pretty sure no one's died on Dyer Lane.
I rode my first motorcycle on Dyer Lane.
Oh wow, that's an appropriate place. But no, this is like a place. Yeah, so it's just a little, and then people drive to it, and then at night go, and there's like a group. Like the most popular game, at least for my high school, was that people would like walk, and then one person would go off and walk forward, and then the group wouldn't follow until they couldn't see them anymore. So then that person was like alone in the darkness. And like the only thing that would be like that was like spooky was that there were cows and they were just like mooing or like rustling around, and you're like, what is that? But yeah. And then there was like people could see ghosts, and like there's someone drew like a chalk outline of like a body that was never there.
Okay, so were there murders though that were
No.
known on here?
No,
Okay.
but people like to say that
Yeah,
there were.
They like to say that there are. And that
There
it's
are so many
haunted and
articles.
all
There was
the
even like a
leaks.
movie that was going to come out called Dyer Lane. Like a scary movie. Yeah. It's just, I mean, that's just a thing.
I just looked up Dyer Lane, and apparently these are just the things that came up. It's witches of Dyer Lane, the ghostly police car, the KKK and lynching of Tyrone. It's sad. The ghostly farmer on his tractor. So, yeah.
See, there's like too many. Like you gotta pick one. Like pick
There's
one.
so many
solid
legends.
urban legend, and then stick
And build
with
it up. Like make something out of it. But they're too, like people just go and they're just, I think I saw a couple of KKK people. Like, and there's like a tree that like it's a certain
I mean, it's
angle.
Like, it's like
you
an
could-
old country road with
Yeah.
trees on both sides that hang over it. But like it's kind of pretty in the day.
It is, no, it's actually really pretty at night too. If
Yeah.
you're not like freaking yourself out about it. My friends like decided to watch a bunch of Slender Man videos before we went. And I was like, holy shit. Actually, the scariest like Slender Man thing, whatever. I went camping and there was like this sign, and I didn't notice the sign in the day, and then at night it looked just like Slender Man. Like it was so, I don't know how it was just like set up, and I was just like, that's really creepy. My friend was like, we should go look at it, and I was like, I actually really don't want to go over there.
Imagine that's how Slenderman was started. Somebody just saw a sign and was like, oh, that looks like a really skinny tall guy.
Yep, that's exactly
Oh,
what
I
it
got an
is.
idea.
With like a
Slenderman,
white
yeah.
blank face.
Creepypasta, yeah.
Yes.
Type it down.
Yeah, so that's one thing from North Highlands.
We're pausing this. I'm making a note for myself because somebody's really rude and decided to take a phone call during the podcast, and she's not here right now at the moment. Throwing shade at Tatiana G. How dare you? How dare you disrupt this podcast? It's probably work shit, but still.
Okay, thank you for staying with me here. I had to call my mother. Well, I called my sister who was with my mother, and she was like, Mom, do you remember this? And they're in the consignment store right now, and then all of a sudden you hear my mom, like, you hear, like thump, 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 like, running over. She grabs the phone, she's like, okay, so one time. And then she literally, she told me, yeah, she was just like, so one time this happened. Oh, and then this happened. And she did it 3 times in a row, and then she was like, is that it? That's all I remember. And I was like, she didn't want anyone in the consignment store to hear her. But this is what she said. Because I already kind of teased the one that I remember, but then she told me about the other one. So what it was is that there was a string of unusual suicides in El Dorado Hills. But the thing is that, like, some of them weren't even residents. So people were, like, showing up, not living in our town and killing themselves. And it was almost like, why would they do that? What's going on? But, like, another part of it is that they were suicides, and I say air quotations because, like, no one was around, and it's all signs of, like, what you would do in a suicide, but they didn't seem like, it wasn't like the right time of day, it wasn't the right time of, like, it just seemed like someone else was always involved, and that's why it seemed weird. Like, for example, there was a guy taking out the trash at a bar, and he found this woman, like, I think it was really early in the day, or it was a bar, so it was probably really late at night. I forgot. They found her early in the morning, so I guess it was late at night. Something like that. I just remember it was a really unusual time because she was wearing, like, walking clothes, and she had her dog with her. And she was hung by the dog leash on the trash can. And a lot of us were like, that's a weird way to commit suicide, because why would you bring your dog? Like, my dog, I would never want my dog to see that.
What happened to the dog?
They found it was a golden retriever. I think.
Muffins.
I honestly think it was just wandering around.
What garbage can is tall enough to hang yourself from?
That's what we're saying. It doesn't seem, none of it adds up. That's why it's a weird, like, why did she kill herself on a Target garbage can? Like, it doesn't make sense. But that's how he found the body. And the guy is not, and we can't go into maybe the guy killed her because he's not connected at all. But he was the one who found the body. And so then, but it was just in our really famous Target, Target is, like, always bustling with people. It's a really popular, like, lit area. So that's another thing. Like, why would you be like, I'm gonna commit suicide? The Target parking lot. Like, today's the day. Bringing the dog. Like, putting on my best Lululemons.
I go to Target and I feel like killing myself
all the time.
Oh, life's just hard.
Mm-hmm. And she was wearing walking clothes.
Yeah, she was going on a walk.
Someone on the verge of suicide does not care about their cardiovascular.
So the story itself. So I remember my dad and I literally going over it, like, piece by piece. Like, why would someone why would they be wearing walking clothes? Why are they bringing a dog? That was late at night. Can you kill yourself on a trash can? Like, what the fuck is this? What is all this stuff? Why Target? Like, what's going on? So that one was really weird. And I want to say yes, but there's been no ghostly reports. I know. But then the family wouldn't release anything about her, like, which I totally get. But that didn't help because we were like, maybe she had, like, a mental problem. Maybe that's why it happened. But they didn't say anything. Like, no one said anything, and everyone just was like, oh, moving on. And so I was like, well, now it's just weirder because I don't know no one knows what's going on. Second one happened in a Rayleigh's parking lot down the road a little bit, like, not too far because our town's not that big. And they found a locked car with a dead body in it, like, just sitting there, and they assumed she died. Like, I don't know if drugs were involved, but it was another case where it was like, what, like, what's going, like, and that was that wasn't a resident. I don't remember where the Target woman was from. I don't remember what neighborhood she was, but I think she lived near the area. But the other one was, like, not connected to anything, but they just found a dead body, and they were very closely, like, one after the other. So we were like, oh, this is strange. And then, but those were the two that happened. We were like, oh, man. And then she thinks that there might be more, but those were the first two that she popped out really fast. And then there was a third one, but it has nothing to do with Stranger Unusual. They know who did it. A guy shot a woman outside in the same area, because, like I said, not that big, outside a bar. But he was from somewhere. He was driving down the freeway, just God knows where, got off on the exit, went into this area, wanted to rob this woman. The woman wouldn't let him because, like, she's stubborn. She was like, no, don't take my purse. It's probably Gucci. Don't do that. And he shot her. And then she ran into the bar, ran back out, and then just died in front of their bar. Yeah, it was really crazy because, like, deaths don't, like, that kind of death doesn't happen in El Dorado Hills. Well, I mean, we talked about Tyler Witt, but, like, since Tyler Witt, which was back in, like, 2011 or something, like, a while ago, that one was the most recent. So it was, like, really weird because it was, like, not even someone who was from our town did it. So we were like, that's shady. But, I mean, so there's that kind of thing where we're just weird, unusual deaths where it's like, okay. But on a lighter note, I'll conclude. A fun thing is that my town, I think it's because they're rich, they have nothing to do. We had a really big sting operation with a swingers club. They broke down a swingers club. And it was so big that the Sacramento News, our KCRA3...
Is swinging illegal?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Anna?
No, like, if you
Anna?
You can't call your swinging club the swinging club. And you can't have, like, it officially be that, but you can definitely get around the system with, like, swinging. You can do that. Anyone can swing if you want. Anyone can swing.
I think
Sleeping
it's like
with somebody other than your, like, husband and or wife is not illegal. It's against the Ten Commandments.
I think though if you run like a club though,
if you run
like
a
organized, it's almost like organized crime, organized
swinging,
adultery.
Like,
I think
prostitution.
Yeah, like almost
Yeah,
prostitute.
it's like
if
yeah,
you,
it's
are
running under
forcing it
those.
upon people or something,
Yeah.
that's
So a bunch of people would come to this club called I'm missing all these key
I think
things.
too with parties in general, maybe there's illegal substances that
Yeah.
shouldn't be there. Maybe
yeah.
some
So there's
blow or
definitely that
something.
going on.
But if you have to pay for like a
Yeah, the membership fee. That's what I'm.
yeah, the membership fee is definitely in the prostitution ring. Even if they're all like consenting, like one person isn't specifically getting paid, it's like the pimp is getting
There's
paid.
a Yelp list of 10 best swingers clubs in El Dorado Hills.
They're talking about swing dancing.
Damn.
It's just funny because we have been busted. It looks like you could just totally get like your fair share in there. Oh wow, fun! But yeah, so we had a big sting operation. They shut down the restaurant. It's now a different restaurant. I don't remember the name. And so then all the swinging had to go somewhere else. Like no one got arrested. They just were like, "Hey, don't do that. We know you're doing it. Don't do it." And so then they went to the local grocery store. And I don't know if I've told this story yet, but they went to the local grocery store where they would go around in their carts. And if you had an upside down pineapple in your cart, that meant you were a swinger. And that's how they were conducting their swinger stuff. The swingers code.
I've heard you say that. I want to know if that's like a thing, and like, is there
Like
like
everywhere?
a sign at every grocery store? that
We should go
says
test
you're
it
a
out.
swinger?
And what
Yeah.
if I accidentally just toss my pineapple in upside down and suddenly
but
I'm in
what
a
kind of
stranger's bed?
psychopath puts an upside down pineapple.
Pineapple.
You guys should just go to Trader Joe's, go right in the middle of the store, right? Empty shopping cart, get a pineapple,
Just
upside down, and just see what happens.
So
Just see what happens.
I wonder if it works at Trader Joe's. So my dad being the one who heard about this, he was because like it was obviously traveling through the town. So we were like, oh my God, that's hilarious. And my dad and his friends are like, okay, let's go. And so they had to go buy snacks for soccer anyway. So they went and they did the pineapple thing. And sure enough, a man and his wife approached them and were like, hello. And then my dad was like, this is not happening. This is not because like my dad and this other guy were there. So it's like this gay couple, like these two men. Yeah, flip the pineapple. And they're like, oh my God. And so they came back and they were dying laughing. Like they were like, we politely declined the invitation. But like, this is too much.
Were they flattered at least?
Oh, my dad was totally flattered, I'm sure. But we never knew if that was just that grocery store or like a world thing. So maybe you're right. Maybe we'll go to the Whole Foods today and put a pineapple upside down.
Okay, your second story reminded me of like this unsolved mystery from. No, it's actually. I'm mad that I don't know more. But so this guy, he's 2 years older than me. He's my brother's age. Like after high school, he went missing. And it was like that whole thing, like, let's find, I'm not going to say his name, but he's like, let's find him. Like, where is he? Like, please help. Like, if you see him, if you see his car, if you see this. And it was like this really big thing in my community. And then like he was found kind of by like Dyer's Lane, like in like the weird, like kind of country outskirts, just dead in his car. And then people were like, he was part of like the Mexican mafia and like it was like a drug thing. And there are all these things, but there's never like, I can't find the real, like, I don't know if they ever like concluded what happened to him.
What?
Yeah.
Like there could be a whole conspiracy behind it?
But like, I just want to know what happened.
But no one even told you.
No.
Or no one's even said.
And he was found near Dyer Lane?
No, just like that type of like the weird country part.
Oh,
Like,
I was about to say, if he
But
was
it
found on
wasn't
Dyer Lane,
like-
you guys have been talking shit about Dyer Lane. That place is actually creepy then.
Yeah, no, there's just like a weird amount of like farm between like North Highlands and Roseville. Like they needed like this like area just to like keep the ghetto away from like the nice Roseville area. Like they're just like, we need this because Sarah and I are from North Highlands, and
Tatiana told us this cool trick of looking it up on
Urban Dictionary.
So
Yes.
North.
Well, for
Okay.
just like really quick, for a while, like this year, if you Googled North Highlands, California, just like in the search bar, it came up and it was like North Highlands, California, this population, whatever. The picture was just this house with like a chain link fence in the front and then just these two guys going at it, just like fighting full on. And then there's like people in the background just like watching.
North Highlands, everybody.
Yes. And I was like, that's pretty accurate. It's pretty much what it is. And I think I know where that house is. So, yeah. And then if you like Google now and you just like look up images, it's just like a bunch of like areas. I don't know. And they just have like cop cars everywhere. Like it's just cops showing up to different places, like schools and like different things. So what does it say on Urban Dictionary?
North Highlands. Stupid doo-doo dumb. This is North Highlands, land of the OGs and the hyphy. North Highlands is located in the county of Sacramento, California. North Highlands is a diverse location, which dangers that lurk some streets, tweaks that beg others, stoners who blow down on the next street, eatards who love feeling themselves, and cokeheads who want to be like Scarface. Overall, it's a pretty kick-ass place. Always someone to beat up and something to smoke.
Do you feel that's accurate, Sarah? Always someone to beat up?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Well, I didn't like grow up. I lived in North Highlands, and then I lived in like a little, I lived in like a court, and my mom wouldn't let us leave the court, because she like had this idea that there was like this protective barrier around our court, like nothing would happen inside. And I think she was right about it, because nothing ever happened. And I distinctly remember a couple of different times where like gang members would just show up, and they would like have their guns out, and they'd just be like, they'd just like look in at us, and it was just like me and my neighbors like playing, and they'd like stand right at the edge of at the beginning of the court. They would never come in, they would never do anything. They just like looked in, just like checked things out, and then like walked on.
My like first so I lived in North Highlands, and technically we moved to Foothill Farms, which is like between North Highlands and Citrus Heights. It's all the heights. Yeah. All the heights. But like my first street was like, it was like safe too. And it was like so my first street was very weird. My parents like bought it before a lot like came in, and across the street was a barn and racehorses, and down the street were mini ponies, but then like other streets and courts over were like gang members. It was a very strange
so
place.
Weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
Did the gang members ride the mini ponies? Did they conduct drive-bys on the mini ponies?
They offered to let me ride the mini ponies until I got too big, but I was always like, no thanks.
So I then tried to Urban Dictionary the town that I actually kind of grew up in, which is Carmichael or Fair Oaks, but Fair Oaks is like not interesting at all. It has like an old Fair Oaks, and I don't know. But then Carmichael on Urban Dictionary, the first thing is any sort of sexual or dirty innuendos.
What?
That's it. That's all it says. And I don't know. And then like the next one is city in California known for its art and arcade area.
Okay, this will be my concluding line to El Dorado Hills, because I didn't read the and then I didn't read the Urban Dictionary. I just want to also end by saying I don't hate El Dorado Hills. I really don't. I think it's pretty nice. It's much different. No, I don't. It's much different than Los Angeles, and for that I enjoy it. But here we go. El Dorado Hills, 1996. A quaint suburb of Sacramento, characterized by its rolling hills and rural surroundings. It is a place affordable to the middle-class families looking for alternative to bustling city life. High-performing schools, low crime, and scenic views are all hallmarks of this charming community. I should be reading this like the City Confidential guy, shouldn't I? And someone really went in on this definition too. And I'm going to conclude the definition with they have like use it in a sentence too, and it's really great. 2006. Fast forward. An overdeveloped, yuppie-infested retreat by Bay Area transplants who crashed in on their 3-bed, 2-bath San Jose shanty. Who cashed in.
That's the El Dorado Hills I know.
Yeah, exactly. For a mass-produced, Italianate-themed McMansion terraced up on formerly rolling hillsides. Not everyone is awful in EDH, because there are actually a lot of decent people and families, which don't exhibit pretentious attitudes. But the snobs you see eating at Mask, which is the restaurant I forgot was the one that did the swingers thing. So I'm glad that they included this, because now I remember it was called Mask. It got shut down.
Oh my
now
God.
It's Sienna. Rest in peace. Thinking they are the damn Rockefellers, need to down a couple bottles of Sauvignon and loosen up. I said that wrong, didn't I, Sarah?
Sauvignon.
Yeah, she said it better. El Dorado Hills started out as a relatively affordable, family-friendly community and has evolved into an enclave for the Nouveau Riche. That's in a different language.
The new rich.
Thank you. Damn with an affinity for the newest, largest faux chateau, which they live in, but they can't really afford. And here's the end. Bob, my adjustable rate mortgage just keeps rising, and I can't afford it because I leased a new S500. Mike, why don't you just drive something a little more affordable? Bob, are you crazy? I have to show the guys at work my new ride. Mike, but didn't Intel just announce they were slashing 7,000 jobs? Bob, what? I'm fucked! And that's it. That's the end.
Did they even use El Dorado Hills in that?
No, but that's what it is. But yeah,
that's
so
just
that's
a dialogue that you
that's,
hear in El Dorado Hills.
That's the very end of the top definition for El Dorado Hills on Urban Dictionary. Thank you, Urban Dictionary. I think it sums it up pretty well.
I need to know Anna's because Anna's Fresno is consistently
In the
known
news.
as the armpit of California.
From Fresno.
All right, let's
we
get
go.
into how you have to explain where you're
them. They're
from. A lot of people in the surrounding towns from Fresno, like they don't actually live in Fresno. They live in small towns like me, myself, but they don't know. Exactly, yeah. You just say that general area because people are like, oh, yeah, where, there's Dust Bowl or something. But yeah, it's often seen.
Is that where it happened, the Dust Bowl?
It's where it happened. And
Round zero for the Dust Bowl, Fresno, California.
Here's where you just get into when you say Fresno as what people think. Hell on earth, the little city that couldn't. But no, the anti-San Jose, Fresnever, the urban Wait. This one is good. The urban STD. The fuck no. And you know what? There was
fuck no.
Okay.
That's a good
When I
one.
was about
That's so good.
when I was about 11, I went to a High School Musical concert, one of my first concerts, and Lucas Gabriel, he was he was there, and he said, "This is Fres, yes," and everyone was silent because no one thought that. It was a total thing, like where it's
Well, you don't have to pander, dude. We know this place
yeah, it
sucks.
was like not good. The people are generally not attractive, and worse than that, they are snobby, ugly and snobby. And there's a lot of racist remarks here, and I don't need to read all of those. But if you go to Clovis and you search that on Urban Dictionary, a well-mannered, mature man who has a soft heart but hides it well. A punk-ass town. Either you love it or you hate it. Lots about football. Someone who wrote about this had a passion for football. Clovis is the better part of Fresno, okay. Yeah, and then we got Clovis, New Mexico. Talks about crack whores. That's not where I lived, but yeah. So that's just a lot of people kind of go over that, and a lot of people when I tell them I grew up in Fresno, and they're like, "Well, what did you do?" And I was like, I bowled, and I went to the zoo, and my brother wanted to be a zookeeper, so we went to the zoo every week, and we got involved in zoo camp, and we had to go to the zoo all the time. That was my Fresno
zoo. What kind of
Fres-
animals did they have at the Fresno Zoo? I feel like when you say zoo, it's literally maybe
the
2
Fresno-
cows.
The Fresno.
Did they have a chow chow that was a lion?
It's got a little hat on, and they're like
The
lion.
Fresno Chaffee Zoo is bustling. It's very popular. But yeah, as a child, I went to zoo camp. Yes, they have
not a zoo
ostriches.
if they
They
don't
have
have an ostrich.
flamingos and ostriches. They were going to build a.
Did you ever spend the night at the zoo?
I did.
No,
I did.
but I went there.
all did.
Okay, well, you know what? My zoo was a little different. If you spent the night there, you might get
Die.
murdered.
I think that the lions would probably come out and
Our
try
zoo
to eat
wasn't
you.
in like.
I mean, opened the cages at the end of the night. Is that what you're saying?
May I add? My fear of Earth Day came from the zoo.
Wait.
So
You have a
growing
fear of
up,
Earth Day?
Well, we went to the zoo all the time.
Did you just stay inside a couple days ago? Was it Earth Day? You were all like, no! Close all the windows. I
Well-
am not leaving the house right now.
I just didn't
I
like.
wish I could go to the moon.
Yeah, 5-year-old me didn't understand about Earth Day, that we just went to Earth Day. We knew the general idea, and my mom would explain it to us, and then we'd be at the zoo for some reason on Earth Day every year. The
interrupted
Grim
you.
Reaper
What?
was at the zoo. The Grim Reaper, I'm telling you, was terrifying. He was in a field. It was just to represent death, like if we don't take care of our planet. Yeah, on Earth Day, take care of your planet.
Scared Straight program.
Was it just some guy in like a dark cloak and he had a scythe and
So He was this guy in a dark
every
cloak,
15
and
minutes
his
with this-
face was covered
It was
with a
a
black sheet.
Giant black
So you couldn't
schnauzer.
see his face.
Giant
And
black
my
schnauzer.
brother, who was afraid of a lot of things, but nothing. He was afraid of nothing at the zoo because he thought that to be a zookeeper, he couldn't be in fear. So we have to go up closer and see the Grim Reaper, and I scream bloody murder.
I would
And
too.
my mom is like,
Fresno
she's like,
Zoo is
that was my
terrifying.
most traumatizing experience. And for a while, I would have nightmares of the zoo, and no one should have nightmares of the zoo.
It's like the mascot. I know we're referencing past podcasts, whether it's like the mascot thing. It's like your mom's dragging you like it's nothing. It's just death.
Yeah,
Just stare at death. It's not gonna do anything
Or
to
she's
you.
like, take care of the planet. Recycle, or you're gonna see that. And I'm like, okay, trying to teach me a lesson. But yeah, so I grew, everything else I was involved in, all the other kids did and everything. But I just lived in the armpit. But the one cool thing, and that
Tell
like
me
kind
more.
of like. The one cool thing about Clovis was the country part where you
Yes.
go out and you sit on your car and you see the sunsets. And
Yeah.
yes, the barn that I grew up in, which is just.
Aw. Were you
I
born
was
in the
born
barn?
in that barn. They never let me out of the barn.
Except to go to the zoo.
Yeah, except to go to the zoo. That's it. To zoo camp every week. Damn. If my brother just
What?
no, every week, every day we would go for the summer, the entire summer to the zoo
Why?
because it's zoo camp.
Every day?
Your brother is also like the furthest thing from a zookeeper now.
Now
I
so
see the life
3-year-old,
change here.
yeah, 3-year-old Joey wanted to be a zookeeper, and then he wanted to play instruments. So then they signed us up so everything was like Joey's
You
gonna
did
do it.
everything that Joey
Okay,
wanted
let's
to
not
do?
go back to how
I'm
yes,
sorry
how
this
much I followed
happened.
my
I'm
brother's
sorry
foot-
this
Yeah,
happened.
how I did this, but then they were like, "Oh, she should try zoo camp," and I did not have the same. I mean, it was fine, but like we didn't get to see the animals every day too. We just had to like color zebras. Like it wasn't like the
Wonder what
zoo
color
camp.
they are.
I learned. Yeah, exactly. We like make beads. You know the little beads? No, black. You color black and white.
Further proof that Folsom
They
Zoo
want you to
is not- or
express
the
your-
Folsom, the Fresno Zoo.
It was different there.
We also have a zoo in Folsom. That's why. I said- Yeah, we have a Folsom Zoo, but it's smaller. It's just
Probably
rescued animals, so it's like giant like cougars and like a porcupine.
Haven't you heard that Johnny Cash song, Folsom
Folsom
Zoo?
Prison Blues.
Yeah. No. Fuck.
County
I
Zoo.
fucked
messed
up the
that
joke.
joke.
God damn
you
it.
had the you almost were there.
Ah.
Do you want to do another round? Do you want to try another time? No. Okay, sit in your failure. But yeah, the little Folsom Zoo is right next to the Folsom Prison, and another day we'll have prison stories, and I will tell you all about.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Please tell me that the prison mates do their community
service
at the zoo.
They do it all over, and I'm sure
Probably
the
the
zoo is
zoo.
one of them.
Close by, they can walk to it.
They have little wolves and
Bunch.
stuff, 2 tigers,
Yeah,
maybe 1 bear, a little weasel. Like it's a cute zoo, but I'm sure it sounds like the Fresno.
I mean,
Zoo
the Fresno
is
Zoo's
much more.
yeah.
happening.
It was big, and a lot of people did go there. But the zoo camp, like, we didn't need to go to zoo camp, but because a family member really liked the zoo, we had to sign up for zoo camp every summer. And then my mom would be like, "What's his next interest?" And then it was like, "Let's play instruments." So then we joined a musical, instrumental like thing, and then
What was your instrument? Like, what did you do?
I played the drums.
Oh,
I also played like the bongos and congos and the xylophone.
Can you
and,
still
You
still
don't
play the
recall?
drums?
Yeah, I can play the drum set. We had a drum set.
Okay, you need to play the drums next time.
Yeah.
Next week, you gotta bring in some drums
I
and
did
we'll
get
play you.
star points because my friends thought I was cool because I could play the drums, but I
And in
wasn't.
Fresno, all those points add up.
All those points
those
add
cool
up.
points add up.
But then my friends were like, "Let's start a band because you can play the drums." I was like, "Yeah, but you guys don't know how to do anything." So they would like bang on the instruments and I was
behind
like,
you.
No, yeah, or they do the tambourine
Yeah.
or like the shakers, like the little.
So I have a
shakers.
question about Fresno kids. Are Fresno kids constantly trying to get out of Fresno? Or are they thinking of ways about getting out? Or is
Everybody's
everyone
different.
just living,
It's
just hanging out?
Well, a lot of them are, well, especially Clovis. They're all married with their children at my age.
So people stay?
Yeah, people do stay, and there's a good reason. Like a lot of people like to work in the school district or for the police department. They have a passion to work in Clovis. Or
the zoo.
They're the next
Grim
zookeeper.
Reaper.
The Grim Zookeeper. I wanted to be the Grim Reaper at the zoo. But
Yeah. You wanted the zebra.
But yeah, I definitely think there's a group of people that would like to escape. Like
How did your
met
parents
someone.
end up there?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
it's not
so
really
they-
a place you really
Yeah,
aspire
so they grew
to
up
raise
in
your children.
No, yeah, they met in Huntington Beach, and then they.
So wait,
Yeah.
no, Anna, you have to say. I was gonna say, Anna, you have to
Yeah,
say
so
Tyler and
here's-
Daniel are very
here's
much
my-
involved here.
All right, I'll make this a little brief. All right, so my parents met in Huntington at a beach party, and
Huntington's a great place.
Yeah.
I would not mind being there.
yeah, so my mom, she moved to California to go to UCLA, and she was going there, but she was a little older doing her PhD stuff, and she was living in Culver City, and my dad was, he was in a bunch of different areas, but was in Huntington, Torrance, Hawthorne, like he was all over, and he was in Huntington at the time, and my mom was on a date, and they were at a party, an Armenian party, and the date walked away, and my dad came up,
Oh, he swooped
and
in.
he's like,
He's, he's,
oh, well, I'll ask you out. And then my mom's like, no, like, and then she ended up calling him. They went on dates. So they lived in Huntington. They always point to their apartment, and I think possibly Westminster too. They kind of moved.
Oh,
around
wow.
there. Then my brother
Yeah.
was born in this amazing hospital in Huntington. I don't know. They always point to it.
Is it
And then-
Talbert?
I
Or
don't,
no?
You know, I didn't care
Yeah,
to know.
yeah.
And they were, I blocked it out.
I one time picked up my uncle from a hospital in Huntington Beach.
It probably was the
Sorry, you know?
I also thought it was nice.
Yeah, he was born there, and then I get so frustrated, and I've told him this before, but every time he comes to visit, he'll be like, we'll be going through Huntington, or we'll drive through, and he's like, my stomping grounds. And I was like, so they moved to Fresno when he was 6 months, so I
Yeah.
was born in Clovis or whatever, but they moved there. So my grandma, my uncles, my aunts, all of my family was in Fresno.
Why were they there?
They just grew up. My grandma grew up there, so they
So Anna's
like,
grandma.
my grandma, yeah.
Yeah.
My
It was
grandma.
Grandmama did
Well,
it.
then
Anna's
they
Gam
didn't.
Gam.
And they,
That's the reason
their
they're in Clovis.
options, like my dad got a new job in Fresno too, so it was like it made sense. And then they were like, we don't want to live in Fresno because we gonna live somewhere else. And my grandma lived on this place called Huntington Lane, which is one of the oldest new neighborhoods in Fresno. And
still in Huntington.
It's still in Huntington.
I still lived in Huntington. But yeah, I was born in, well, we lived, in Clovis. I was born there and then lived there. And my mom still points to where I was born because we still see our pediatrician. So, But yeah, so that's how they met. And then they moved there for family, but also because they were commuting like an hour and a half with a baby.
Yeah.
And they were like, we can't do that and have more children. And then also like we were dropped off at daycares, like throw them to this. My mom was like, we just threw you at this daycare, and then a few years later we gave you to a new one. And then we're like, okay, cool.
Have you gone back to Huntington Beach at all? Have you been able to explore the town?
Yeah. We went yesterday. I like Huntington a lot. Like it's great, and my parents really liked it too. But they talk about moving back to the area, but like when they need to retire at some point in life. And then my mom the other day, she wanted to rent a beach house in Huntington for 1 month only. But I was like, what about work? She's like, they won't care. So I was like, I think that they will care. She's like, I just want to live on the beach for a month.
I'll live with your mom.
Huntington's great. It's got the beach there. It's a big old MMA town. A bunch of fighters from mixed martial arts. They base themselves there, and they have like their gyms there, so you can learn jiu-jitsu if you want.
I'm telling my mom.
Big old comedy town.
Yeah.
Recently, there's a bunch of people having shows, a bunch of people having mics there.
No, it's a great place.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. When she was on maternity leave, she would just take my brother in a stroller every day for a walk, and she didn't have to do anything. She's like, this is the life.
Yeah.
And then when it was time to go back to work, she's like, this is not the life I want. I will walk to Fresno. Yeah, so.
Hey, and if you go down Beach Boulevard a little bit, you hit Smelly Garden Grove.
And that's where we're from.
What does your guys' Urban Dictionary say for
Do you
Garden
have
Grove?
it up, Tyler? I think I have it up.
Anna,
Let me
thank you
see.
for sharing Fresno.
We will go to Fresno, and we will. I'm pretty.
We'll go to Yosemite.
Sarah and I will speak here. We have been to Fresno. We had a hometown spring break field trip, like 2 years ago or last year. But we went, and it's not that bad. I mean, it's like any suburban town.
And there's like things that you wouldn't appreciate if you grew up there. You're like, I hate this place. But if you like are fresh eyes, you're like, it's not so bad.
Yeah, Sarah and I were excited. Yeah, they had like certain like really good restaurants like Doghouse Grill. Well, what I also have to say is that I have family who lives in Fresno too. So
And she took us to the fun store where all of the farm kids that go to Fresno State, they sell all the things that they grow, like wine and ice cream, and meat.
If I didn't not want to get out of Fresno so much, I would have done viticulture and lived in Fresno. But
There you go. Fresno, more like Fres yes.
thank you.
Garden Grove was founded by Alonzo Cook in 1874.
Yeah, they have a statue of him outside of Garden Grove High School.
That is when
They do. He was
Grove
really short man.
became existing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this because it will preface Daniel's Urban Dictionary. Garden Grove has the second largest Vietnamese American population and second highest concentration of any city in the nation.
Yeah.
Fact.
If I can read the Urban Dictionary top definition here. Noun, a city in Orange County, California. Nothing exciting goes on in Garden Grove, and life in it is dull. For some reason, Asians find the city very attractive and have unfortunately overpopulated it. I resent that sentence. There's nothing wrong with Asian people. Nothing wrong at all.
Vietnamese people.
To be specific. They're great people. They are people in general. And Sublime's song Garden Grove on their self-titled LP is about the same city.
Also, the headquarters of the Government of Free Vietnam, a self-styled anti-communist group, is in Garden Grove. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But
so Garden Grove is fine. Garden Grove is a mix of a lot of different people. Obviously, from the facts we just read, there's a lot of Vietnamese people in Garden Grove.
I feel like I have two hometowns, though. Because Anaheim. Because
Yeah.
I literally live on the border of Anaheim and Garden Grove. Yeah, I live 10 minutes away from Disneyland. I could see the
I have a
fireworks.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I went because, like I was saying in previous podcasts and podcast past, I was previously at Disneyland California Adventure, and there's the neighborhoods are literally all right along the border.
Yeah.
My question: do those people get free passes?
I think they do. I think
Really?
I think no. I think there's an arrangement where wherever the fireworks fall, the ashes from the fireworks, those people get free passes.
Really? Because my mom and I were like sitting there and we saw this woman like walking to work basically.
Yeah.
Like she had her apron on and she just literally like boom, right across the street to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And we were like, do you think they get free passes? And we almost like shook our heads like, nah, that
If
would never
they-
be a thing.
If they live under, I heard that's a thing. It's if you live under where the ashes from the fireworks fall, you get free passes. You can get there for free. And if you're a cast member, you work there, you get them for free, whatever. Yeah.
So a lot of people in Garden Grove and Anaheim work at Disneyland, and those people are all also in poverty.
I got the Urban Dictionary definition for Anaheim. Anaheim is one of the best cities in California. I don't know about that. It is quite possibly one of the most entertaining cities for its size. It's got Disneyland, the Disneyland Resort, the convention center, and a kick-ass nightlife. It also has been ranked as one of the safest cities for its size. That is bullshit. Another name for Anaheim is
Anacrime!
Yeah. It's a clean, fun, entertaining city. Everybody thinks it's part of Los Angeles, but we're not. We're much different than LA. I think somebody that
I
is
mean,
a big
I will
ol'
say
Anaheim
that
head wrote
it
that.
is much different from LA. You can actually like drive places. You can park.
Isn't there somewhere called Anaheim Hills? Or
Oh
is
yeah,
that something?
that's rich
is that
Anaheim.
okay? So it's like the whole thing with the hill.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they on fire.
yeah. Anaheim Hills is close. It's like Anaheim Hills is towards Tustin.
Yeah.
It's like towards the break of where you go from like poor Orange County to like rich Orange County.
I used to live, for the first year of my life, I lived in Anaheim because that's where my family lived. We were in a house near the freeway, but then they wanted to expand the 5 freeway. So in comes in eminent domain, they kick us out, and then we had to go live in Garden Grove.
This is why
Yeah.
I have a relative that lives near the 5 in Downey, and they wanted to.
Did they take their house?
They didn't, but they were talking about it for 10 years, and they were like preparing for it, and they were like, we'll like let them know when we're gonna like possibly expand, and they never expanded, so they assumed it was
I
fine.
had that commute, and I really wish that your aunt would just like buy a new house so that it doesn't take me
She's
2 hours to
it's
get
my
to work.
cousin's grandmother,
Oh,
and she doesn't
okay.
even live there anymore.
Okay.
so- but the
Well,
kids
like-
do, so you can tell them.
They've been working on that goddamn freeway
Yeah,
for 10 plus
yeah.
years, and I hate it.
But yeah, that's why I think Garden Grove and Anaheim are both my, and that's so weird about. That's why I just say Orange County, because I have like no town. Because from my fireworks, from the
They're
backyard.
your fireworks, Daniel. They're for you.
They are my fireworks. Yeah, you can see the fireworks from Disneyland, and it's like I grew up with that, and I'm
Yeah.
all like, oh shit, and
I would go.
That's an image in my head that
Yeah.
I remember.
In like middle school, I would go sit on the top of my like apartment's roof, and we would like watch the fireworks and be like, "Oh, pretty!" And then I'd be like, "Damn it, now I have to get off."
You know what? Fuck that. My hometown is Disneyland. I change everything. that's where I'm from.
Keep
Yeah.
saying it.
I think I also have like an old joke too. Where I was like, I was born on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Oh yeah.
C-section.
Yeah. Garden Grove is cool. It's not that exciting, but it has lots of exciting things around it.
Question. This is a question for the table. Is your hometown is totally up to you, right? Because it's not where the place you were born. Is it the place you live most, or is it the place you maybe didn't live the most, but you sided with the most? What is
It's
it?
a place that feels like home.
Okay, so that's So it's okay. So it's just wherever you felt the most. Okay,
Where most of your pivotal moments were in life.
but what if you didn't feel at home in your pivotal moments?
Then
is it
where
still
is
your
it?
hometown?
Let's hear. Where are other people?
Sometimes home is shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's still your hometown. I'm just trying to help those people that moved around a lot who have many towns.
I think I obviously want to get out of Orange County because I'd like to live, and like the things that I want to do are elsewhere.
Yes.
Like
If me and Dan have talked about this, if we could just live in Huntington Beach and still do what we want to do, we would live in Huntington
That's
Beach.
the dream. We really want to live
Yeah.
in Pacific City with the spiral staircases.
They have a dog park. I just showed Tatiana yesterday. But like, they also have this big center area. It's like a mystery, but you have to live there to go there, and I just need to live there.
Well, they have like, I've looked into it. They have like giant flat screens in like the pool area. They have a very nice
Wow.
gym area. They have one of those like hangout areas for people who just live there.
that's crazy.
We could, yeah.
$4,000 for a studio. We can do it.
$4,000 for a studio. Let's go.
That's a part of it. I always feel, even though I want to get out of Orange County, I will always consider it my home because I see myself retiring there. When I'm done with everything, when I'm said and done with everything, I feel like I'm just going to go back there. And I'm not just going to go back there and be like, like I actually want to go back there and actually build the things that weren't there when I was little.
Yeah.
I want to make like charities and organizations where young kids, if they want to be creative, go ahead and do that. There you
Like-
go.
like-
Boom. Yeah.
Nipsey Hustle.
And it's close
Rest in
enough
peace.
to LA that you can just go drive to LA whenever you need to. But you don't have to be in LA. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like, honestly, like I would just say, like for me, my hometown is from like where I feel like, I know what this is. It's from Fullerton all the way to Huntington Beach and then Santa Ana and then Long Beach. So it like spreads out like that.
Sprinkle everywhere.
There's a reason why Kobe Bryant lives in Orange County. And so is Dennis Rodman.
But also,
and
like,
shit.
I really like Long Beach because it's close enough to the OC, but without the price tag. It's close to LA.
Long Beach is another city where I'm just like, hey, that's like my town too.
Yeah.
Because I went to school there. The mic is there, and then people know me as like, there's this one comedian. He's like, oh yeah, you're from Long Beach, right? You're one of the Long Beach boys. I'm like, I fucking guess. Yeah, sure. Why not?
And now it's like weird because if I'm here and somebody asks where I'm from, I say Sacramento. But if I'm anywhere else, I feel like at this point, after like 5 years, I say Long Beach.
Yeah, I was going to say Colin and I say we're from Long Beach now when people ask us in LA. So and then we're like, oh, well, I guess like originally from Sacramento, but like we've lived in Long Beach the last like 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. Our hometown has changed
It's like
to Long
shifted.
Beach.
Your hometown is where the heart is.
It's where the heart is. Yeah. I was asking too, because I was not born in El Dorado Hills. And that is like a big rift between the El Dorado
Poser.
Hills people, like the people who were born in that area and the people who weren't. And you can tell the people who weren't from the people who I know. Hey, I hear you.
You yuppie transplant. I forget what was on that.
I wasn't even a transplant from the cool part. I was a transplant from Sacramento. Like literally, I lived where Sarah and Cheryl lived. My parents lived in that area, and then they left and they went to El Dorado Hills. But the northern, I would make it by the north has always been my hometown because I lived in like Elk Grove. We lived in like off of Fair Oaks, and there was another town in there that my mom would. She's probably like, you're missing blank, and I don't remember. But like we've lived all over, but we stayed in El Dorado Hills. So I guess that to me is the longest place I've ever lived, and that made it my hometown. But I was born in Washington. I lived in Colorado, and then I lived in Elk Grove for a while. But yeah, so I guess. So I'm a North kid. So that's why it's hard for me to say Long Beach now. But now I feel like Long Beach is like my second longest place. It's technically the second longest place I've ever lived. And so now I can say it's my hometown.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I ever were to end up doing anything, like if Colin became like an actor, like I wrote a book or whatever, like I'd be like, no, I'm from Long Beach.
I was gonna say,
I would rep
from Long Beach. I would rep Long Beach, and I like the idea of like you go out and do stuff, and then you come back, and I would come back to Long Beach probably.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go back to the north. I mean, that'd be cool if I had enough money to go back to the north and like hang out by San Francisco, but I wouldn't.
No.
You saying that you're from the north and makes it. It's
you're
like you're
thinking
in
of Game of Thrones, aren't you?
You're from the north.
I could tell.
I was also thinking of that Bob Dylan song, "Girl from the North Country." Yeah.
I would say I'm also from the north. Like, my hometown would just be like Northern Orange County. Yeah. Like
Northern Orange County.
Just Northern Orange County, you know.
Yeah. Honestly,
doing like I never really explored Orange County when I was young. I'm getting older, but I was younger back then. I was just really square and didn't go anywhere. But in doing Housewives and in doing comedy, I've explored the different facets of Orange County, different places. And South OC is so different from North OC. Yeah. And then those cats, too, the people from South OC, those comics, because I know comedians, and that's who I interact with the most, they are just a different breed. They're all like, hey, what's up, bro? Like, you want to party after the mic? We got a couple joints, you know, like... We're going to go get lit. And I'm all like, no, I'm good, Kenon. That's cool, man. I'll see you later. You going to the library? Okay, I'll see you at the library.
What are the North OCers like?
They're very more...
Is it night and day?
Yeah.
Can you tell, like, when you see them?
Yeah. They're more introspective. They're more about, like, if they go to a mic, they're... And I don't want to throw shade on the South OC people because they really do care about comedy.
Yeah.
But when you see someone that's from North Orange County, they're very... reserved.
Yes.
They're there to tell their jokes, and then they're there to maybe talk for a little while, like 10 minutes afterwards, and then leave. South OC, they're there to tell jokes, and then afterwards they're down to like, where are we going? What's happening?
Anything?
Yeah. And I'm down for that. It's cool. It's just sometimes I just want to go home because I have to wake up early.
I'm going to give also a little shout out to Northern Orange County because it has nice stuff. And some parts of it are like expensive, like the closer you get to the beach. But really, you could live in like Midway City or Westminster. Midway City. Or even, like, a lot of parts of Huntington Beach. Like, my uncle lives in Huntington Beach. He's lived there for, like, probably 50 years. Mm-hmm. And it's just, like, you can make it happen. And it's not, like, you're going to have, like, a Mexican person, like, walk in. Like, there's everybody. Everybody is there. And nobody, like, bats an eye. Like, even, like, the white people are pretty chill. Yeah. And, like, some places, like, the more, like, affluent white people, they are not chill.
No, you're right. I would never, part of me never going back to the north is, like, the area I was from, like, up there was predominantly white. And I can't go back to living in a predominantly white area anymore after living in Long Beach because we're one of the most diverse cities ever.
What I really liked about, like, growing up is very diverse.
Yes.
All my schools, all my places. And
very jealous.
Yeah.
That's what Fresno was like once compared to like Long Beach area and different kinds of areas because of its diversity. Just because like it's literally every race. You have Armenians to African Americans to like Asian culture, but it's so like and lots of white people. Like it's all spread out. Like if you had your pie chart, everyone gets a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
So that's like Long Beach is kind of like that too.
Yeah.
Different cities,
and now I feel more at home in that environment. And if I get around too many white people, I feel like Get Out or whatever, like the Get Out movie, even though I'm like white, but I'm just like, You
start itching.
Yeah, I know. I get really nervous and sweaty.
I don't know if this is racist, but I don't think it's racist. I want to develop this into a joke. Mm-hmm. But it's like
lay it on us.
I remember when I was little and I would go out to places and like because there's like a lot of Garden Grove in Orange County is very racially diverse. So you would see like a lot of Asian people and a lot of Mexican people. And I was just so used to seeing a lot of Asian people and a lot of Mexican people. So when I would go somewhere and it would just be like white people, I'd get a little homesick. I'd be like, where are all the Asian people? Where are all the Mexican people? And then I'd get home. Or I see like an Asian person. I'm like, oh, I'm home. Like, I see, like, a Mexican, oh, this person of color. Like, oh, yeah. It's like, I always attributed like other minorities like me as like being a thing from home.
Yes.
So
I believe.
I don't know. I'm trying to make that funny.
Yeah.
Northern Orange County, African American people, come. It's not racist anymore.
Yeah.
I just feel like there aren't that, like, there are, like, obviously some, but there aren't, like, that many. And I feel like we are welcome. You are welcome. Please come.
Yeah.
We need you.
Santa Ana is definitely the heart of Orange County because it's like right in the middle.
Really?
It's like
know that.
you go a few minutes that way, you're in South Orange County. You go a few minutes that way, you're in North Orange County, and it's very like it's so different there, and it has a rich history. Like there used to be a chapter of the KKK there back in the 60s.
What?
And there was also a chapter of the Black Panthers.
What?
So there was like
That's why there aren't that many African Americans in Orange County. It's because like the school we went to used to be like segregated, and like Garden Grove used to be like super racist and just like all of that. So obviously like it's like white flight, like they all like left LA, all those places to come to places like Garden Grove, and it's just like it's time to reintroduce time has come and gone to reintroduce large populations of different, like pretty much just African Americans because everybody else is there already.
And it's usually known Orange County is known for being really red, but this past election it went blue. But you've always had completely
no
blue.
way.
Southern Orange County.
What?
Fullerton.
What?
My the city where I live right now, Fullerton, I voted and it flipped from red to blue.
That's amazing.
It's always been red. It's always been.
I was gonna say.
You always have that in Orange County. I think that's why I like it. You have that struggle between. It's not even a struggle. It's just like you got both parts of the spectrum. You have people who are very conservative and people who are very liberal, and you always have It's not a point. You know, some parts in Orange County, like, oh, that place is always going to stay blue, but Orange County fluctuates, and it's good to have that that sort of nuance in the place where you live, because then you are able to look at things from both sides.
Exactly.
You're able to look at both sides of the bias.
You know what's also good, like right now, with the fact that like the red side is so just like it's so polarizing right now that Orange County is like, no, we can't get behind that.
Yeah.
Right now, like. And maybe in the future, like if things mellow out, they'll go back to just like conservative values as opposed to like racist, horrendous, like horrible. We're just gonna murder everyone. Like, those sorts of values.
I think I identify very much as liberal, but I want to live in a place. I want to live somewhere where I'm not entirely. That's why I feel like, oh, if I live in LA or New York, that's where all the creative opportunities are, but they're so insulated. They don't know what's going on.
So insulated. It's really and they have such LA is such a weird place to live because everyone who's there, I dropped out of school because of this like whole mindset where like people in LA are just like all about LA and they don't even recognize any other part of the world like at all, and they all have super closed mind, like they all think the same way, like all liberal thinking, and it's really strange because it's like liberal thinking but it's all about LA and it's all about like what's going on in LA and nothing else around it.
And they all came from Minnesota. The ones that are like this, like it's not these people are like the ones who are from Southern Southern California or from like Los Angeles or any of that. It's like the people that came from like Minnesota or Idaho,
even from California. Like you're kind of a transplant, but at least you're from the fucking state. Other people here from like New Jersey or like
all these people are
Las
taking our
Vegas.
jobs.
But
or
like
California jobs.
And Sacramento's kind of the same place as like Orange County, where there's like that mix of like liberal and Republican. Like there's a big like kind of like country folk thing up there.
Just not.
But then it's like really diverse also. But also like even having that and being like living in two places with that, I still forget how like racist the middle of the country is.
I completely forgot until like the whole Trump thing, and then you like drive because we have to drive between in the like center of California a lot, being from Long Beach and Sacramento. And then all these signs popped up and like "Make America Great Again" and like.
No, I'm
all
talking
these
about
random things.
like the middle of the
Oh.
country, not the middle of the state.
Yes,
like
yes.
California
I was like,
itself is not that liberal.
Sorry. I'm thinking about California because I always forget because we're
Because
always
even though I
consistently
feel like
blue.
because I feel like there's that, and I'm like, oh yeah, like there's like Trump supporters in California, and that
Yeah.
freaks me out. But there's Trump supporting like mostly states,
Yeah, like whole
and that
states.
freaks me out more than anything.
You know what it is. You know what it is, and I want to conclude this by saying this. It's the cornhole.
I love that game.
It is the no. This is real. This is real life. This is the cornhole.
Classic. We should go
This
to
is the
championship
classic.
one year.
No, not that. No, not the game. Not the beloved barbecue game of dads everywhere.
Cornholio.
No, not cornholio. Jesus, people. No, the cornhole. The center of the U.S. that we should just barricade in with corn, and they just live out their lives there, and we don't let them out.
My thing is like, why don't we like branch out and just like take those spaces? Like I know I know they're far away from the ocean, which sucks. But like we got a lot of people in California and a lot of people in New York.
But
Like let's go make
have you
more
ever been
communities.
there? I got sushi in Nebraska once, and it was made of crawfish.
Honestly,
Crawfish sushi.
I haven't been more east than Arizona.
There's no sea by Nebraska though. They got to work with what they
That's why
got.
it had to be from crawfish, because they were like, "Don't trust the tuna," and I was like, "You right."
Yeah, that's even more evidence why the cornhole needs to happen. And I'm sorry, states. I'm sorry for people who were born there and they have no idea what's going. You know what I mean? Like they didn't ask for this. They didn't the birth lottery. They didn't want to be born in Kentucky. No one did. Like we're lucky enough to be born near California
So
or at least
lucky.
anywhere else.
Every now and then I'm like,
I always am like, wow.
yeah, I count my lucky stars.
How lucky I am, and I'm just like, how did my parents? Like, I'm just so lucky that my parents were in Sacramento, like in California. Like, they could have been anywhere. My dad was born in New Jersey. I could have been like in the East.
Yeah, my dad was born in Michigan and my mom was born in Texas. So like I could have been anywhere over there.
My parents were born in Mexico. They had to cross a fucking border multiple times.
I am Sacramento through and through, but I just want to point out, before I was born, my parents lived in both Hawaii and Florida. Not that California is bad, but
My mom and my grandma. My mom and my grandma were born in Santa Ana, California. And before that, their mom, or my grandma's mom, was born in Mexico and then quickly came to Santa Ana, California, where I was also born before going to Garden Grove.
Okay, so I guess on my side, like my family's all from California, like up and down California. So I guess when I think about like how lucky I am that I lived in California, there's not really like much chance that I wasn't going to be born in California, but I could have been born down here in Long Beach with the rest of my family. I could have been born in Fresno with like the other part of my family. I could have been born in all. So like, I'm just like, why did my parents choose Sacramento? Like, where did they? I could have been born in Long Beach, but it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever.
I'm just like lucky that I was born because neither of my parents wanted children. So I feel like it was a miracle. I feel like it was a miracle baby in itself. I don't care if I lived where my mom grew up. I just wanted to be born.
I don't think miracle's a word. I think you're looking for accidents. That's what's going on.
With that, I just also want to end by saying, middle cornhole listeners, we love you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
They're not listening to a podcast.
You're making me believe you.
And if they do, they already left, you know? They like, or they want to leave.
or they live in LA.
We have to assume everybody in America listens to all the podcasts, not just on the coasts. You have Jedediah in Mississippi listening to This American Life.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of hometowns, please go home.
Please go back home right now. We want to go to
It
bed.
doesn't have to be your hometown, but
You don't have to go home,
but
but
can't
you
be my
You
home.
can't stay here. Please and thank you.
Go back to Anacrime.
Go back to Disneyland.
Go back to Disneyland.
Yes!
Bye-bye.
Every spring
Hey.
Hi there.
That was a good one.
I know we say it all the time, but that really, these parties keep impressing me.
Yeah.
All the fun stuff that keeps happening.
Thank you for having me over. It was a lot of fun.
That's great.
This podcast was made possible by coffee, sometimes mimosas, and Daniel.
And Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel's a big part of the equation.
And you guys that keep listening.
Thank you for still listening. And you can join and be a part of more on our social media pages. You can keep up, interact. We love talking and interacting with you guys. So you can follow us on Instagram at
_ please leave by 9 _ It's some sick memes.
made by Daniel.
Yes.
Daniel, do we also have a Twitter?
Yeah, we also do have a Twitter and we also have a Facebook. So if you look us up on Facebook, you can follow the page. If you look up the Twitter account, you can follow us on Twitter for some sick tweets.
The sickest tweets.
The illest. I forget the Instagram handle. What is it?
It's _ please leave my name _ But if you type it in, we should be the first one.
We should be the first
one.
ones.
And if we're not, we will fight them.
We will fight them.
And then we will become the alphas.
And we will, yes.
Yes. And remember, you can listen on wherever you're listening to now. You're a smart person. I trust you. But also, you can listen to on Spotify, Google Podcasts, third-party places because you don't want the man listening to you.
Yeah.
And Apple Podcasts. And there you can review and rate us. 5 stars preferably.
Please rate us.
Tell us what you want to see at the next party.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Shoot
What's your
us.
favorite party theme?
Should we talk about the email, too, if they want to send us some emails?
Oh, my God. Yeah, you don't know this, but you can email us. It's very easy to get in contact with us at pleaseleaveby9podcast@gmail.com.
There you go.
Please leave by 9podcast@gmail.com.
We promise to respond within the next decade. Sometimes we're bad.
Yeah.
But we read them.
Send us sweet nothings.
The sweetest of
The
nothings.
sweetest nothings. Your fan art, if you have any.
Or your resume to be our intern.
Yeah.
All are accepted.
And if you really like us, if you like hearing us talk, and if you like coming to the parties, then you can donate to us on Anchor.
Oh, my God. That's right. We don't talk about it often, but it requires money to do a podcast, don't you think?
Yeah. Time is money.
Time is money. And we just want to give you the best we can. So that includes, donations, getting sponsorships. We're here to create for you. We're not here for us. We've already said this before. We're all in a cult, actually.
Yeah. We've all joined Shenyang.
We don't know how to get out. But thanks, guys, and we'll see you at the next party.
Yeah. Oh, tell a friend, too. Tell a friend.
If you have them, or
If
we're
you
your
have them.
friends.
Or tell your enemies.
We can be your only friends.
Just tell
And
everybody.
your enemies. Yes, that's right.
Tell your
them.
mom, tell your dad.
Bye.
Bye.